And video isn't just for marketing anymore. It actually supports every business function. That's sales, onboarding, retention, in a 24/7 way. Many business owners only budget for the first half, and that's why results feel random.
Change the Reel, a podcast with Monique Velasquez and
Piper Kessler. For over 20 years, we've run a video production business that has achieved what only 3% of women entrepreneurs have done.
exceed $250,000 in revenue. We want to see business owners that look like us succeed. That's why we've started this podcast.
Change the Reel will drop twice a month.
We'll release 2 types of episodes. One is with Piper and I kicking it and talking about using video in business.
And the second features conversations with business owners using media to drive diverse perspectives. This is Change the Reel.
Representation starts here.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all,
I'm Monique Velasquez.
and I'm Piper Kessler.
Change the Reel is a good place to hear us natter on about media and representation.
Yes, and today we are focusing on planning your video marketing for a year. You know that feeling when you swear this is the year, you're finally going to get serious about video content, and then Q1's over before you even find the right camera.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I want you to know that I really want to just do tips on how to ramp up your Q1 and Q4 video drops.
Okay.
You know, the biggest video consumption quarters for brands. But to do it right, we have to talk about your plan for video for the entire year. The entire year.
Okay, so in this episode, we're mapping out how to plan an entire year of video content without burnout, overwhelm, or blowing your budget. Stick around if you are a small or medium-sized business owner or agency or a nonprofit under 5 million who want to use video more strategically.
Yep. We'll talk about how many videos to make, when to film them, and by film I mean record them, and how to make your content work double duty, do twice the work for sales, HR, customer success, all the things, right? All the things of your business, double duty.
All right, so let's give you some ideas to think about so you can keep focused on why video in business is non-negotiable.
Video is expected to make up over 80% of all consumer internet traffic. So if you're not using it, you're invisible.
And video isn't just for marketing anymore. It actually supports every business function. That's sales, onboarding, retention, in a 24/7 way.
Right. So that video will be out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the holidays, doing the work that you need in business. We're going to do some ideas for small businesses and medium-sized businesses. And I know that the small business people out there are saying, I don't have time. And the medium-sized businesses are saying,
We ain't got the budget for that.
that's right. We need you to reframe your idea of what video is, because it's a sales multiplier and it doesn't just do one task. It can help your HR, it can help your leadership, it can help your internal communications. It does so much. So don't think of it as one thing and for one part of the year. Think of it this way too. Planning video has 2 main activities. You've got creating and you've got delivery. Creating or creation is producing your content, scripting, recording, editing, and delivery is publishing, advertising, amplifying other messages. So those are the 2 main activities when you're doing videos.
And many business owners only budget for the first half. And that's why results feel random.
That's true. That most people think, well, you just do video, you're just going to pay for the video being done and don't worry about where it's going to go, how you're going to promote it, those sorts of things. Now, if it's tied to an event, then it makes sense, and that's the activity that happens. But rarely do people think, oh, a video needs to be advertised. I need to talk about my live event, my live stream, my challenge, my whatever it is that you have going on for your video. We talk about a rule of thumb, right? 20 to 40% of your marketing budget should go to creation and the rest to delivery. That's a weird, lopsided sort of thing. I've heard a couple of different things about what your budget should be for video inside your marketing budget. So that is not like your entire budget for operations. That is just for your marketing. So when you're talking about doing video, and maybe you've set aside $10,000 or $100,000 for your video, then again, it should be 40% for the production and the other portion to the delivery or the pushing and marketing and the texts that go out to support that you want people to go to the video. So if you're not promoting your videos, you may as well, be a drop in the ocean, a whisper in a storm, all the things, right? Planning for a year of video means you're focused on both activities, creation and delivery. It also means your business goals and objectives are tied in because your video is absolutely in harmony with your marketing plan. It has to be.
So the same language you use as your mission statement or who you are or whatever needs to be tied in to your marketing. And your marketing all needs to have a little string tied to each other so that something doesn't sound totally out of whack. Like, I don't know an example. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've seen stuff.
Well, I mean, let's talk about how in a small business you may have a sales quarter that is like hopping, that you sell summer things, summer services, and that you have a busy, ramp up to that, and to do a sales drive after the summer doesn't make sense. Okay. And so having this in harmony with your marketing department, right? To have that video created when summer is happening, you will get a good return on it if it drops in the middle of when you're busy and you're selling versus after. So it really does. I mean, that's the obvious sort of weaving in with your goals and your objectives. But you really should know what your cycle is for your business. We're going to use a calendar cycle. So Q1 would be starting in January, Q2, and then Q4 is the end of the year. So in a small business, and we're calling it, under $1 million, really it should be a few $100,000. In Q1, it is likely you're doing the type of work that is building credibility. And when you're making a video, you might talk about your brand story, or all your marketing should be talking about your brand story. You might be onboarding new clients. So you might start looking at putting together 8 to 12 short videos just to drop in Q1. Okay? And in Q2, your business might be talking about trust and what your community does. If you're a service provider or you have a product, brick and mortar, you might talk about testimonials. You may do a mini campaign to get more clients signing up, right? And so Q2 is really focused on your goals for trust and the community. And how does that look inside of your business? We can invent it for an imaginary business, but you're going to know specifically what Q2 trust and community activities look like in your marketing, right? And in Q3, you're really looking to do more engagement, knowing, we're going back to the Q4 and Q1 being the biggest brand video watching stats for consumers. So in Q3, you're talking about engagement. You're talking about creating culture, right? Like, what is the culture of your business? Getting people engaged in who you are as a brand, your service, your product. And you're going to put together probably more short clips, and you might have 12 to 15 shorts in Q3 because it is a way to get engagement so that when Q4 at the end, when we're looking at Black Friday, Thanksgiving, lots of travel, and, contemplating big vacations in the wintertime, they're going to start plunking down money in December and November and that sort of thing. So you're going to want to figure out how to get those videos to get clients to convert and spend money. So your count should be about 8 to 10 videos just for conversion in Q4. That's for small business.
Okay.
And for a medium-sized business, maybe I called it large. I didn't mean to. It's a medium-sized business, which we're going to call under $5 million. I don't know personally too many under 5. I do know some that are above the $1 million mark. So we are, and some of them are our clients, and we've seen what they do. And so this is a little bit based on what activity they're doing with their video. So in Q1, they might do a brand film or recruitment push to subscribe to services or to subscribe to whatever objectives and goals that they have going on later in the year. It's just a way to get clients churned up and interested, right? Q2 is when you might put together evergreen content. So you might have an event that you cover, and then you can use the event coverage behind the scenes, speakers from the stage, or a lecture series or something like that, something that's going to talk about your mission and your goals and what your clients' transformations are. Those are the types of videos that you're probably looking at Q2. Q3 is product launches and case studies. So again, we're going an eyeball in Q3 to what's happening in Q4. That's right. And so you'll have product launches. You may have a new service. You may have a new widget that you're going to put out. And you want to have eyeballs understand that you have other clients, case studies, that have been successful using your service or your product. So this is where Q3 activity videos are. And in Q4, you have your bigger campaigns and your retention videos that are aimed at clients' case studies, testimonials, and clients that are successful with your product or service, engaging other people to buy and emulate.
Because you want to keep those clients.
That's right. You do want to keep those clients. And so remember that if you're batching for a couple of days of doing these videos, either for small business or large or medium-sized business, you may take like a day or two of just recording content for your entire quarter. And you can have that content either sprinkled throughout the year or, heavy duty for the next quarter. So that is something that you definitely want to try to put into your year-long plan, right? And remember, you don't need to make 100 videos. You just need to make the right 40 videos for your business, your objectives, your goals, right?
Okay, so there's no reason why video has to be an island or an orphan in your business marketing plan. Every video can be designed and created to tie directly to specific goals in predetermined quarters of your business. Now, what do we mean by that? So sales.
Right. So again, you have to know that your sales happen in a specific thing. Again, like, I do a lot of sales in October. I don't know why, but that's just how things are. And so I would launch something in Q2 to really focus on getting folks in, which is what, Q3?
Q3. I mean, because the thing is that scheduling too, right? So you don't want, we are pushing our clients, not pushing, I shouldn't say that, but we're contacting our clients way before, knowing that more than likely they need our services in October for whatever reason. October, November tend to be busy. And so we reach out so that they can start planning, and that also in defense, so we don't get a phone call at the last minute and we're trying to juggle more projects in 1 month.
One condensed area, right? One
Right.
condensed quarter. And so for you and your business objectives and goals, your sales may be in Q4, or that, like I said, you might be a very summer heavy product or service. So you're going to have to adjust your sales cycle and what you do and how you get your case study or your explainer videos or the testimonial videos.
Or demo reels.
Or your demos for what it is that you do or your product or service, right? Other things that happen in your business or operations. You can do trainings and onboarding videos that help HR. Like, so you know that you're about to pick up some seasonal people and you want to do some training that is pretty repetitive and pretty standard. And so you might do a video before you're hiring so that you can save time by having this operations video tied to that activity in your goal of your business. But you really need to be timed out in what quarter you're going to do this activity. Let's see, what else? Customer success videos. This helps drive sales and create engagement to some degree. So let's say that you have somebody who you have helped, your software company, and you just helped them install this new software that helps streamline their processes and makes them more efficient, and they've seen a bump in their revenue for their business. And so this customer success story, it happens in real time, so it might be a year out from when you actually need the video to match that same success rate. But you have to figure out where in your sales cycle that you need to put this or have the video created and then drop the video in order for that customer success to help drive sales and engagement. So it's not just, hey, they did good. This was a really great story. We had success. It needs to be tied to the cycle and the season and the objectives in your business, and not just be an island by itself.
And things change. But everything in the world changes. So it could be that you are seeing clients that are asking you the same questions over and over again. And it's new questions that you hadn't dealt with before. It might be a good time to do an FAQ, or it might be, to do an FAQ or to show appreciation for some of the clients that you have.
Right, like just highlighting their business. We had a recruiting video for a specific agency, and what they did was they actually highlighted all of their partners and who they interacted with to have their new hires understand that they were not working by themselves, that they were really, really part of the community. And so, like, not focusing on themselves and allowed this interesting recruiting video to be used by the partners for them to say, yeah, we do work with this other agency and these other nonprofits in the area. So that was an interesting success story, but it was more tied to the recruitment and getting people in the door.
It's kind of giving flowers to the folks that work with you, and that's gonna help with your retention.
No, absolutely, it sure will. And so, culture examples on video. So you may have a reputation in your company to have really elaborate birthday parties or celebrations of people that retire. And so having something that just shows this as like festive and fun is part of your recruiting, is part of supporting your leadership in showing that they are invested in their employees. So some of this, it doesn't stand alone. It actually is very tied to the business goals. And other ways you can help leadership is to do, a year in review. So you might actually have this year in review, and if you're a big enough company, you will use this for investor updates and funders to understand what it is that you've done. And so this helps support your leadership while they're out funding and trying to get support on the leadership track, or maybe even for recruiting new leadership into the company. So if you think about each video as a business asset, something really, a tool and not just a social media post, you'll start protecting that production time like a meeting with your top clients.
Yeah, so it's not just something to get off of your to-do list. You need to put more meaning behind it.
That's right. And so, seeing video as a nice thing to have, you need to shift that, because if you can tie it to these other business elements, operations, HR, customer retention, engagement, sales, your, $10,000 or $15,000 investment, you might get a client that's worth a lifetime $100,000. So, there is a little more to it than just saying, wow, $15,000 for a video, that seems like a lot. What's your internal mechanism, and what's it tied to? Is it retention? How much is an employee worth keeping for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Right. Those sorts of things.
And we always say one video, it doesn't mean that it's really one video. It could be broken down and used as separate videos.
That's right.
So we think about video all the time. We have very good examples of video tied to goals, campaigns, and outcomes. We also have seen some that waste energy and creativity because the video was not timed correctly, or it wasn't fully tied to the goal or objective or what your business does, who it is. And they were beautiful videos, and they had little to no impact on the business mission or goals.
That's because they were out of time, they were out of sync, so those are the things that, you want to tie all this activity and get that momentum instead of having a video that stops the momentum for those other activities. Right. Let's do a quick recap of what we've suggested. So we're going to plan for a year, but chunk it down into quarters, right? You're going to batch produce and commit to doing it because it supports all aspects of your business. It's not an island.
And you're going to repurpose that video relentlessly.
Like there's no tomorrow. Like you're going to slice and dice the longer stuff into shorter stuff all day long.
All right, so today your homework is to map your next 90 days. You can plan for doing one hero video, I guess is what we'll call it, which is why you're doing the thing you're doing, how you are better at it than other people might be. It's your special sauce that you bring to the industry that you're in that someone else may not.
Yeah, what problem you solve and how you solve it is your hero video.
And you're going to make 6 short clips to support it.
And it can be from that same hero video or 6 new ones, right? If you need help mapping your own specific video plan, book a call and get a VIP planning session so that you can get accountability, a list of topics, and timeline for your year's worth of video. If you're a marketing team and you're ready to go and want action, then it could be better to get a membership to our studio for 6 months and get not just a plan, but 5 months of videos delivered. Click the link in the notes to book a call with me to get the details.
And remember, consistency will always beat perfection every single time. You just keep showing up on camera like the CEO you are.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Change the Reel. If you like the episode, subscribe.
Share it or leave a comment. And remember,
representation starts here. Hasta pronto.
See you soon.